I like helping people. I like seeing people get stronger, and I want to work with more people. How can I do that? And it became very apparent to me what I had to do. That's why I started doing these programs. That's why I set up these playlists on my YouTube channel where I train with you, because that way I can offer you all the advice and all the tips that you will need to be successful in the program. So I'm not just giving you a program and going like, good luck with it, man. As I keep saying, and it's my own product as well, programs are only a part of it. You can have the best program in the world, but it's not going to work unless you execute it and apply your technique correctly. Your technique is very important, and that is why I stress that in all of my videos, and why I take time to do full tutorials so you too can get the most out of your training programs. And welcome back to your mum's favorite channel on YouTube, Cult Strength. Your favorite wise, hairy wizard is back yet again to answer all of your questions. That is right. We have another Q&A today. So I hope that it helps. I'm going to do my best to get through as many questions as I possibly can. I think I'll try and answer them a little bit faster this time so I can get through more. I think that would be the way to go. So I'm going to do my best with that. Now, before we start, I quickly wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody who last night or this morning went and grabbed one of these Squat Slayer programs. I honestly think I just demolished my record for programs sold in the first 12 hours. So thank you very much. That does mean a lot to me. And as always, I'm looking forward to sharing that journey with you, just like I am with the Deadlift Destroyer and the Bench Press Behemoth programs. Now, if you haven't bought any of my programs, they're all for sale on my website now. There's even a bundle on there if you want to grab all three. All my programs are compatible and can be run together. That is how they're designed. And for more information on the programs and tips and advice on how to get the most out of them, follow the playlist series that I have here on my YouTube channel for each of them. And I think that'll help a lot. Now, one more little thing that I wanted to talk about before we start. Give me a minute. And that is, I am now looking for potential sponsors of my Cult Strength YouTube channel. So if you have a business or you know of someone with a business that might want to advertise their products or services, please let me know. Send me an email at thecultstrength@gmail.com. Keep in mind, the only products and services that I would be comfortable, promoting on my channel are things that I would use myself and believe in. I don't believe in promoting junk or promoting things just for the sake of money. I definitely need to see some value in the product, but I'm definitely looking forward, to working with some people. Exciting, announcement. I've already, we can say, signed the contract for my first sponsorship here on YouTube. So I'll be sharing that with you in the near future. And again, it's a product that I genuinely believe in and I think people could really benefit from using. So that's going to be the really important difference here. As I said, I'm not going to promote junk, but I'm definitely open to having sponsors for this YouTube channel, whether it be a major sponsor or even sponsoring an episode here or there. I'm happy to work with people. I'm looking to do that now. So please let me know if that is you. But now, let's get started with this question and answer. We have a lot of questions to get through today. I'm going to do my best to answer as many as always. And if the questions are a bit long, I'll just summarize them and get to the point. I think that'll be best. So, our first question, Honeybrew5063. He says or asks, any bench press cues or recommendations for tall, lengthy guys? I feel like since day one, I have to leave no stone unturned for every gram I want to add to any of my pressing movements. Well, when I answer these questions, keep in mind, I'm not attacking anybody, I'm not trying to be harsh, I'm giving you the truth. Your first mistake is by how you ask the question. Any recommendations for tall, lengthy guys, like something has to be different or something has to change? Everything's the same. It may be a little more difficult for you to add these kilos or for you to get into these positions, but your question you want to know how you can add kilos to the bar, that is how you do it. You improve your technique, you get into the difficult positions. It takes time. I'm fairly tall, I'm 6'3". I have long legs, I have pretty long arms. Not built for squatting or for bench pressing really, but what I decided to do was to thicken up. If you add mass to your body and thickness to your body, you're going to reduce that range of motion, you're going to find you're in a better position. So, as I speak about often, I get this same question for guys when it comes to deadlifts. I'm a tall guy, I struggle with deadlifts, what can I do to help me? The biggest deadlift ever done was by someone who's 6'7" or 6'8". It's not an excuse, you know what I mean? You just got to make it happen. If you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. So that's all I want to say on that. Nothing different. There's no special rules for you. You just got to work maybe a little bit harder than everyone else. And obviously make sure you're running a really good program. That helps. The bench press behemoth is fantastic, and it could help you. All right. I have a couple questions when it comes to how to position yourself for deadlifts, such as the position of the head, the shoulders, and the chest, etc. This guy's saying mid-knee position to lockout. He's struggling not to use his glutes. He's not using his glutes enough, and foot pressure. So this question was by Truth Z Sun, and there was a couple of questions like that. So if this relates to you, this is for you. Man, I've answered this question so many times in my deadlift videos. If you look at my videos, how to increase your deadlift instantly, I might put it up on the screen here if I can find it. In most of my deadlift videos, I talk about the importance of these positions and how to achieve them. It would take a long time for me to sit here and explain that to you right now, so I do implore you to go and check out those videos. They are going to help you tremendously. Promise. Salt the wounds. My mum sends her regards, King. Thank you very much. She's a kind woman. My question, what is your recommendation for a strong core? What recommendations would you have for core training? Core training, having a strong core is important when it comes to squatting, benching, all that sort of stuff, right? Deadlifting. But we don't achieve a strong core by doing traditional things like sit-ups. A lot of people think they have to do sit-ups to get a strong core. The movements you want to focus on more are isometric contractions like planks, side planks. We can go a little further. We could even, move forwards towards more advanced things like, have you heard of the Turkish get-up? The first quarter of that movement, quarter Turkish get-up, is excellent as well. There's a lot of those sorts of movements we can do, but I would definitely start with a simple plank, make sure you're doing it correctly, and side planks. Once you master those, then move on, but start with that. That is an excellent way to start training your core for your squat and deadlift bracing, because when we brace for those movements, keep in mind, what are we doing? We're generally pulling the rib cage down and trying to expand out. We're not trying to pull in like some people think they need to do with core exercises. It's about bracing and having that really solid midsection. So those exercises are excellent for that. All right. This is another deadlift question, but not exactly the same as the last one. It's a very long question, so I'm going to summarize it. Now, this guy here says he's having a problem to getting a new deadlift PR, and instead of doing a normal deadlift, to deadlift twice a week and do a harder variation on the second day. That is not going to work at all. I understand your thinking. You want to deadlift more than deadlift more. Doesn't work with deadlifting. It's very taxing, and especially when you're saying you want to add an even more difficult variation. My advice to you, my friend, is to follow a very simple basic program, but one that is programmed correctly to ensure that you're getting a sufficient amount of volume with difficult variations early on, and then decreasing the volume as you progress to closer to the normal deadlift, right? So we start with a more difficult variation. As the program goes on, we get more specific towards the actual deadlift. Now, my Deadlift Destroyer program, which is on my website, it's perfect. That's what it is. It's designed to increase your deadlift so you can take the guesswork out of it. Definitely don't deadlift more. That's not the answer. Let's start with that. So don't try and deadlift more. Stop trying to lift heavy all the time. Follow a structured program and make sure your technique is sound. That is always going to be the answer, my friend. I promise. But if you want my programs, cultstrength.square.site, that is where you will find them. Oh, my man, Baphomet. How do I get a girlfriend? Well, goodness me. He swallowed it. Well, how do you get a girlfriend? I mean, I don't think it's that hard, is it? Well, you got to be into girls, I guess. That helps. So conventional deadlifts, that helps. If you're pulling sumo, women generally won't be interested in you unless they're into women because you could look like a really feminine, person to them. They might be into that. Maybe it's kind of a step out of their comfort zone. Maybe they're a bit curious. It's bridging the gap a little bit, but if you want a girlfriend, definitely recommend conventional deadlifting. Lifting weights in general, getting jacked helps. The more jacked you get, easier it is, I guess. But you have to keep them interested as well, so you should probably be good at conversations and talking. Otherwise, I don't know, they'll probably get bored of you. Because more so dudes care about your muscles than chicks. You have the expectation of I'm going to get jacked and chicks are going to love me. Mums love it, but normally it's like dudes that are like, oh, hell yeah, bro, can I touch your pecs? And that's all good, nothing wrong with it, but that's just kind of how it is. But you got to be careful as well. If you get too jacked, too good looking, too charismatic, you might get too many girlfriends, and that can cause you a whole bunch of problems. You know what I'm saying? Goodness me. All right. What else we got? By the way, this is definitely not illegal. This is just herbs. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetically, I have a script anyway, so suck it. Okay, this one I need to address, man. Chef Froggo, you're not even speaking my language here. I'm just going to say this, but no hate. But we need to educate you, sir. I'd like to grow my spinal erectors and hamstrings, but keep small glutes. Don't some deadlift lockouts look damaging to the thoracic spine? And Buffalo Cougar Slayer replied back to this man, impossible to train erectors and biceps femoris, aka hamstrings, without also training glutes. He's speaking my language. My friend, Chef Froggo, why do you not want to have big glutes? Chicks like dudes with big glutes. Dudes like dudes with big glutes. No one likes people that don't have big glutes. Maybe that's shallow. My point is, if we had a preference, everyone would have a big old butt. So I don't know what you're trying to say, mate. Maybe you're a sumo deadlifter and you want easier access for others. That can be the only thing I'm thinking of right now that would make sense. If not, train your fucking glutes. Just do it. Strong glutes are key to a healthy back as well. Keep that in mind. Goodness fucking gracious me. What is the world coming to? A lot of deadlift questions. Oh, I just dropped ash on myself. Thank you. All right. Costis1436. Might have already answered it, but any thoughts on trap bar deadlifts? Trap bar deadlifts are great if you want to be good at trap bar deadlifts. They don't, have the same effect as a conventional deadlift with a barbell. Like, just because you're good at trap bar deadlift doesn't mean you're going to be good at a conventional deadlift. If you're good at a conventional deadlift, chances are you're probably going to be good at a trap bar deadlift, but it doesn't have to carry over the other way. So if you want to be good with a trap bar and it's not important to you that you can use a barbell, that is fine. If you want to compete in powerlifting per se, then you've got to get used to a barbell. But again, if it's really not an issue to you, deadlifting with a trap bar is absolutely fine. Just be careful the handles aren't too high and you're still getting a good range of motion, because some of the handles on the trap bars are a little bit high and it's more of a rack pull or a low rack pull than anything. But yeah, you do you, but I prefer a barbell. Bogdan Silviu 7956, planning to do some heavy deficit stiff leg Zercher deadlifts. Do you think it'll have a good carryover to deadlifts? That's a great question. I'm going to tell you why, because I think this is something a lot of people may struggle with a little bit, right? Now, I love doing Zercher Zercher squats. I love doing my difficult deadlift variations. But we have to draw a line at some point, right? As in, if the exercise is getting so difficult that we can't actually handle that much weight at all, is it really going to carry over? I don't think so. It's like, we have bench press, right? Now, let's say, does bench pressing, if you lay on a barbell instead of a bench, have a carryover to a big bench press because it's a more difficult movement? No, not at all. It doesn't have any carryover at all. It'd make you better at bench pressing on a barbell because it's so specific. So I think when you get too specific, we start getting too far away from our goal. So don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it. I'm not saying that it will make you weaker, but I'm not saying that it will make you better at deadlifting or squatting either. So that is my answer to that. I hope that makes sense. Just don't overcomplicate it too much. Always have an idea of why you're doing something. And if you can justify that to yourself, it'll make sense. Fair enough. Next question. Goodness fucking gracious. All right. This gentleman is a member on my YouTube channel, the Disciple tier. So if you want me to guarantee that I'll answer your questions, please sign up to the Disciple tier. You get 10% off all programs, off all merchandise, and off all equipment. And before we answer this, keep in mind I have a few pairs left of the God Killer wrist wraps and the Figure 6 lifting straps. They are pretty much on their way here now. They have been finished in production, so I'm looking forward to getting them in and sending them all out. But I think they're going to be all sold out by the time they get here, which is why I'm going to do another order very soon. But if you want in on this first drop, you don't want to wait too long, be sure to pre-order yours now. I'm also going to have knee wraps, fucking sleeves, elbow sleeves, shin sleeves, knee sleeves, all of that stuff coming soon as well. I have some samples coming with my wrist wraps, so I'm going to sample them and then make my order. But yeah, make sure you get in now and get it done early. Now the question by Switching Gear 480V. Regarding RPE, would a level 10 RPE be more than a 1 rep max or just below that with enough left in the tank to make the lift? Great question. We'll clear this up for people who are unsure about RPE. RPE 10 is a true max. It is, you got the lift done, but you didn't have a kilogram left in the tank. That's all you have. Above an RPE 10 would be a fail. We laugh and sarcastically say RPE 11. If it was RPE 11, you get stapled. You're done. But we don't like to work at an RPE 10 very often at all. Only on our max testing days, ideally. We go to an RPE 9 sometimes. And if we're talking about an RPE 9 for a 1 rep, then I would say you want to make sure you've got 5 to 10 kilos in the tank, maybe. It's not a true max, but we're getting very close. Hope that helps, sir. Car Wash MK, good question. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Is there anything that you and your coach disagree on? I don't think that we disagree on things per se. I would say that we're not 100% married to certain ideas and we have an open mind and we're always willing to want to learn more, right? I've learned a lot from my coach, absolutely. And there's also been a couple of things that he's kind of adapted from me as well, especially in regards to his deadlift. But he's very knowledgeable, and that is, why I went there in the first place to get coached by him. I wanted his knowledge. So when he has an idea, I'll listen. Does it always work? No, because he also understands that not everything is going to work for everybody, and it's not always, wise to make everyone look identical when they're doing something, right? Like, leverages are different, bodies are different, and the thing with, let's say, top level athletes, I'm talking about the top level athletes, they all do something that you wouldn't necessarily coach a new lifter to do because it's not conventional. So I think that's more so what it's about. It's about being open-minded and understanding that everything's going to be a little different for everybody. There's always new information, always something to learn, and always be humble enough to know that you can learn more. I think that's important. So, yeah, we don't really disagree on things per se. We just have different perspectives and different ideas, but at the same time, always open to learning more. Yeah, hope that helps. Okay. Next question. King Bishop 7777. Great sessions every video. My question to you is, what are your views on the seals of Solomon and the demons, as well as using semen retention for increasing spiritual and physical strength? Interesting question, bro. Interesting question. I'll do my best to answer it for you. King Solomon, seals. I mean, it's not literal, nor is anything in the Bible really. It's all symbolic, but also understand that when that was written, it's written from a place of fear. It is definitely an indoctrination of sorts, because it's this whole thing of good and evil, forcing good and evil on people, right? Like, demons are evil. They must be banished. And angels were good. And they look out for people, and they're, humanity's, servants or friends and whatever bullshit, right? It's all symbolic. Don't take things too literally. Like, obviously there's a lot of things within, the seals of Solomon, the numerology, 72 angels, 72 demons, how that ties in with tarot and Jewish mythology, Kabbalah. Yeah, it's such a deep question that I don't think we have time to go into on here. But if you go to my Patreon, that is where I'm more inclined to speak in long format about spiritual things, because that's not everyone's cup of tea. So it might bore the fuck out of some people on here. But if you want to know more about that sort of stuff, please head to my Patreon. The link is here, and hit me up on there and we can talk. But in terms of semen retention for increasing spiritual and physical strength, I don't think it's about retention. I think it's about being aware of the energy that it is. Sexual energy, right? It's about not disposing of it cheaply. And when you do use sexual energy, use it, with intention in mind. That's why I'm not a big fan of things like pornography and aimlessly touching yourself. I'm not saying I judge people who do it, but I definitely think it's a bit of a trap. And we do become spiritual slaves to that. And that's when we start to lose our actual power, our ability, our hunger, our desire for more. So I don't think retention, is the issue or the thing we're looking for here. I think it's about intention. Me personally, I have an appetite, so retaining doesn't lead to positive outcomes for me personally, but it's about intention. If my intention is strong and clear, then it serves me, and I don't feel like a slave. I hope that helps. A little bit deeper, but yeah, different question, so I appreciate that. All right. We'll get through a few more here. I think. Now, here we go. Eduardo Tim of Tuesday, rightio then, champion. What is your opinion on bodybuilding? Not the competing on stage aspect, but the aspect of strictly training hypertrophy only. My opinion is a man should not go through his life without learning his true physical strength. So when you only train for vanity, I think you're selling yourself short on physical strength, obviously, mental strength, resilience, and other things that come with that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to look good. I think it's important to take care of yourself and be proud of what you look like as well as who you are. That is, our vessel is our symbol of what we represent, what we believe in, who we are, right? But I think just training for hypertrophy, you're just selling yourself short. Especially, let's just talk about the fact that strength training is incredible for building mass. So it's like the same argument, powerlifting, but without competing. You're still going to get a shit ton of hypertrophy. You're going to be a monster. I'm 140 kilos. I haven't spent that much time specifically doing hypertrophy training out of the years that I've lifted. It's majority strength training. So it is what it is. I hope that helps. All right. What else we got here? Okay, this is a good question in terms of expectations with the program and what you can achieve. John, no, here we go, his name. Randy Allen 996. Is there a specific amount of weight we should try to add on a program? Of course, we can't go from a 300 squat to a 400 squat in 16 weeks, but can we get to a 330 kilo squat? My friend, that's going to be very dependent on the individual. Absolutely, you can potentially go from 300 to 330, of course. Is your technique sound though? Is your technique, letting you down when it comes to your progress with weight on the bar? That's something that happens quite often. People can't continue to muscle up more weight. So you do need to look at your technique as well. The better your technique is, the more chance you have of putting on more kilos on the barbell. Also, people have a ceiling. So someone who is far more advanced will put on generally less kilos per training cycle than someone who is newer to training or more intermediate. If I was to bench a 5 kilo PB after a 16-week training block, I'd be happy. If I was to squat or deadlift a 5 kilo PB after a 16-week training block, I would be happy. If it's more than that, that's a bonus. But progress is so much more difficult the stronger you get. So just keep that in mind with your expectations. But technique is absolutely essential in adding kilos to the bar along with a good program. All right. John Whitehead, just a quick question. Okay, so he's asking essentially, should you include the weight of the barbell with the weight that you're lifting? Absolutely, yes. The barbell usually weighs 20 to 25 kilograms, and that is weight that you are lifting. So you are absolutely lifting that weight, therefore you need to count it. In any competition around the world, powerlifting, strongman, CrossFit, whatever it is, the bar weight is absolutely counted, otherwise it would make no sense. You're still lifting the weight. Hope that helps. King Rob, when is a how to get bigger shoulders video coming? Do you want a video on how to get bigger shoulders? Let me know in the comments. If I can get 3 or 4 people saying yes, that you want to see a video of how to get bigger shoulders, I'll do it. Because if 3 or 4 of you take the time to comment, that generally means there's quite a few of you that would like to see that video. So make sure you comment if you want to see that, and I'm going to do it. It is what it is. I'm here to help. All right. Alrighty. Emissary Kyle, what are your favorite metal bands? Not lighting that again right now. Favorite metal bands? It's a tough question. I'll just rattle off a few that I'm listening to right now. Kublai Khan, TX, of course. Knocked Loose, Scumfuck, very good band. The Acacia Strain as always. Winds of Plague, Whitechapel, Guilt Trip, Desolated, Malevolence, Traders. We'll start with that. There's a lot of bands for you to go and check out. Go and do it. You will not be disappointed. Also, I had a lot of people ask about me doing a music video here. It's just impossible with copyright. I can't even play the music for you. So it's going to be me sitting here just saying, hey, check this song out. Just go and check out those bands. Easier. David Dudley asks, what is the best way to pick up a baddie at the gym? If by baddie you mean a hot chick, well, my friend, consent is important, but what you're asking is how do you pick them up? Well, you get strong enough, and then you can just pick them up. Makes sense? All right. Old Chud Muffin 7313, my man. What's the time frame for shipping to Canada for merch? And is there a premium on shipping as it's so far? Time frame, from the time that it ships from here in Australia, international's hard to say. Sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's 2 weeks. Sometimes it's a bit more, rarely. Just really depends on, I don't fucking know how it gets there. If the carrier pigeons got sick, I'm not too sure. But normally a week to 2. And is there a premium on shipping as it's so far? There's not like a premium per se, but there's international shipping, there's standard international shipping. That's just what it costs, to ship it overseas. We have standard domestic shipping, we have express domestic shipping, they cost different things as well. But no, there's not really a premium as such, but it is just standard international shipping, so it will cost a little bit more than getting something delivered to you that's already in Canada for sure. Righty. What else we got here? We'll do a couple more. All right, David Simeon Thomas, 6129. How do you get massive without taking PEDs? I'm training hard, following your programs and getting stronger, but I'm not growing in size. Eating 5,000 plus calories a day too. I love the content. You're the best YouTuber for explaining lift and training techniques. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you and your support. Let me see if I can help you. Getting massive without taking PEDs. Obviously, it's more difficult than if you're taking PEDs. Training hard and following the program, getting stronger. So it's working, but you're not growing in size. So something is missing. Eating 5,000 calories plus a day too. Now, let's just assume that you are eating 5,000 calories a day and it's not a guess and it's completely accurate. That's a good amount of food. But it's simple again, right? Some people, unfortunately, need to eat a lot more than others to put on weight. If you're eating 5,000 calories a day and not putting on weight, try 6,000. If you're not putting on weight, try 7,000. If you're not putting on weight then, go and see a doctor. Something might be wrong. I'm not saying to panic, but what I'm saying is if you're eating that much food and you're really still not putting on any weight at all, we need to have a look at why that's happening. Is there something wrong with your digestion or something else? But the simple answer is you have to eat more food. And I know sometimes it's easy to think that we are, but make sure you're tracking it if that's your goal and you really want to be sure that you're eating enough food. Please track it. That will definitely help. The answer is just going to be eat more food. And you know, PEDs, they help. Not the magic pill, but they absolutely help. But again, I'm not recommending you do that, but the question was, how do you do it without it? It's food. Even if you're taking it, it's food. Same answer. All right, next question. Righty. Vishalayadav, doing 5x5, got stuck at 90 kilos. How do I overcome this plateau? My 1 rep max is 115 kilos. We have to have a very, open mind and be able to change things when things aren't working. If you're doing 5x5 constantly, it's not going to work. We can't do the same thing over and over again. All right, doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result is a definition of insanity. It'd be insane to keep doing 5x5 and hitting the same weight all the time and not getting stronger. We need to hit other rep ranges. We need to do variation movements. You need to make sure your accessories are good. So make sure you're following a really good program. Again, if you need help with programs, you want to take the guesswork out of it, and you just want to progress and not have to worry about any bullshit, head to my website, cultstrength.square.site, and grab your programs now. I promise it will help. Look through all my comments on all my videos. You'll see a lot of people talking positively about the results they're getting from these programs, and that makes me really happy because that's what I love to see. Thank you. Make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe. Yes. Parker 8773. Have you had some paranormal divine experience that made you change your mind around your spirituality? Keep getting stronger and bigger like Fenrir dog. Thank you, sir. I've had many paranormal experiences, divine experiences, whatever you may call it. They didn't make me change my mind spiritually. They definitely pushed me further down the rabbit hole because a lot of these things have been recent. I have seen things with my own eyes. I have felt things touch me. I have caught things in photographs that actually and simply were not there. And you can make as much sense out of it as you can try. And people will call you delusional and crazy, but it is what it is. I don't talk about it that much. But all I know is that no one is sure. No one really knows the answer. That is something we are maybe constantly seeking. Maybe that is part of life's journey. But at the end of the day, you've got to, we don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. It's up to you. If you want to learn more about yourself, where you come from, you've got to take time and get to know yourself as well. If it doesn't bother you and you just want to exist and be a passenger in this world, well, hey, that's your choice. That isn't for me, but I definitely question things and take time to learn and to know things and keep an open mind the best that I can. Hope that helps. Absolutely. All right. We've got one or two more, we'll say. We got one more question. All right. Jarek8594. My mum said you never called it, and it's okay, I guess. I just wanted to ask if you're ever going to do an overall strength program, or would it be better to run multiple programs at once? Well, I do apologize to your mother. You know, we had a difficult conversation the last time that we saw each other, and we thought it was for the best, but obviously these things are a little difficult and a little sensitive at times, so please, wish her my best, and I hope she is doing well. Now, in regards to the programs, I was going to release a 3-lift program. However, the way that the training series have been working, it makes more sense to release them individually. You can run them at the same time, you can run them at different times, you can overlap them. You don't have to peak them all together at the same time, because not everybody is a competitive powerlifter, right? So if you're not a competitive powerlifter, it would make more sense to not peak 3 lifts at the same time and to stagger them a little bit. Because as things get heavier, if we're trying to peak 3 lifts at once, it's very difficult. But if we can peak, 1 lift on April, 1 lift on May, and a lift on June, you can schedule them like that. That's fantastic. You could do 2 lifts. If you're running 3 programs at once, you'll notice the squat program's a little bit longer. If you start all 3 programs together, you're going to peak your squat a little bit later than your deadlift and bench, which isn't a bad thing, right? Especially if you're not competing, because you're going to be a little bit more fresh and maybe a little more capable of lifting heavier weights, because your central nervous system isn't going to be as tired or fatigued. So that is probably the best way to do it, would be to run multiple programs. As I said, I have the bundle on my website right now for the Behemoth, the Destroyer, and the Slayer program, squat, bench, deadlift. All 3 of those programs, you save a bit of money when you buy them all together. But again, I try to keep the cost of things reasonable, and it's less than, the way I see it, it's about $7 or $8 a week for a program. But at the same time, I'm trying to give you more value by giving you these tutorials on my YouTube channel, by having the playlist and the series where I'm training with you. It's a way for me to essentially coach you guys without having to work with you one-on-one, because that would be very impractical and not time efficient. But I was really thinking, and I was like, I like helping people, I like seeing people get stronger, and I want to work with more people. How can I do that? And it became very apparent to me what I had to do. That's why I started doing these programs. That's why I set up these playlists on my YouTube channel where I train with you, because that way I can offer you all the advice and all the tips that you will need to be successful in the program. So I'm not just giving you a program and going like, good luck with it, man. As I keep saying, and it's my own product as well, programs are only a part of it. You can have the best program in the world, but it's not going to work unless you execute it and apply your technique correctly. Your technique is very important, and that is why I stress that in all of my videos, and why I take time to do full tutorials, so you too can get the most out of your training programs. That's why I'm doing this. So I really appreciate everybody who jumps on board, who supports me and justifies the amount of time that I put into this. And with the programs, as I've said before, the way that I run them on the channel, you could probably almost guess most of the program without even buying it, but that's not the point. I appreciate the honesty system. I appreciate that if you're really going to be invested in these training series, that you would support me if that is possible for you. I know not everybody is in the same boat, not everybody has any money available. Sometimes people are struggling, and that's fine. So when you like my videos, engage, when you comment, when you share my videos with your friends, that helps as well. But I do also believe that if you're ever in a position where you can support the channel, and you've been obviously benefiting from it and running these programs as well, that I guess I'd like to think that you would definitely support the channel down the future. That is all I ask for. I'm glad that people are being helped and people are getting stronger. I love seeing you all benefit from it, and I want to continue to do this into the future for many years. And I'll obviously do my best to get better, to learn more, so I can teach you more, and also improve the quality of my videos, getting better cameras and setups and things like that. I'll invest the money that I make from this YouTube back into it to make sure it continues to get better. But we'll wrap it up for now. It's been another excellent Q&A. I hope that I got around to answering your questions. I enjoy doing these. As I said, it's my way to give back to you. It only takes a bit of time out of my day once a week, if I can, to sit there and answer these questions for you, and then I'll go and edit it and post it up, and hopefully you have a good time watching. And we'll always do more next week, so make sure if you missed out this time to ask again next week, and I'll do my best to ensure that I answer your questions. But yeah. It's a rest day for me. No training, my body's beat up, I'm tired, I'm working my ass off at the moment. I'm very grateful for it all, but I'm definitely enjoying this rest day. I'm going to take some time now to relax before my clients come in. Got some clients coming in to get some coaching. And if you want online coaching, hey, I do that as well. thecultstrength@gmail.com. Send me an email. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll be seeing you very soon. I think next we've got maybe some bench press. I think we've got day 2 of week 2. No, we've got day 1 of week 3. Yes, we do. Day 1, week 3, bench press behemoth coming up next. I'll see you soon. Let's get it, baby.